Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's July 27, 2015, and here's a look at our top stories.
Tonight, Planned Parenthood President Cecil Richards goes into damage control mode as she hits the airwaves to downplay recent videos showing doctors discussing the selling of body parts and organs of aborted babies. Then, the decline of our nation's public school system drops to an all-time low as middle school children in Iowa attend an anti-bullying conference only to learn about lesbian strap-on sex. And Donald Trump mentions a report by Infowars during a campaign stop as the Mexican drug cartel continues to dominate the Rio Grande River. All that plus much more up next. The Infowars Nightly News. To celebrate the birth of our country and give a big thanks to all the info warriors out there, we are now offering free shipping on every item shipped out of the InfowarsStore.com warehouse. That's free shipping on all t-shirts, books, and DVDs. Free shipping on Molon Labe and 1776 belt buckles, which are also 25% off while supplies last. Free shipping on all of our InfowarsLife.com nutraceuticals. If it's in the InfowarsStore.com warehouse, it's shipping for free, all during the month of July. It's our way of saying thanks to the true heart and soul of this operation, who stand beside us and support us as we wage an info war for liberty and freedom for all. InfowarsStore.com, free shipping for the month of July.
Coming up later in our show, we'll have a special report about the Iran nuclear situation. But first, we're going to talk about the destruction of innocence, because it's very unfortunate that we live in a society where we blame the messenger, we kill the messenger instead of the people who are actually perpetrating the acts. You know, Bradley Manning, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, and the like. The list goes on. And now we have Planned Parenthood, but they're not blowing the whistle. They're coming after the whistleblowers. And we have the article, Planned Parenthood president blames militant wing of anti-abortion crowd for videos.
This has been a 3-year, well-funded effort by the most militant wing of the anti-abortion movement in this country to try to entrap doctors, and of course highly doctored videos which show absolutely, doctors repeatedly said, it's all been edited out, Planned Parenthood does not at all profit from fetal tissue donation, which is an important element of healthcare research in this country. I think what's not told is that, of course, these are highly selectively edited.
And those were the words of Cecile Richards. And she says it's this militant wing. And I will admit there are people who go out there to these Planned Parenthood facilities. They threaten the workers. They may throw a Molotov cocktail. But what she forgot to mention that right here in the city of Austin, somebody went out to one of these Planned Parenthood facilities and threw a Molotov cocktail that people who were just out there protesting had to deal with. They're out there praying, a nice church group, and somebody drives by, throws a Molotov cocktail at them. That seems like a militant wing to me. And also, when we went out there a month or so later to do our demonstration from the Planned Parenthood facility, people literally came out hissing, growling, and crawling over trash cans to worship their god, Lucifer. It sounds sensational, but I assure you it is true.
In today's world, abortion supporters routinely attend pro-life rallies and attempt to bully activists. If you have a problem and need a smelly group of commie devil worshippers, maybe you can call the A-Team.
How many did I adopt? I kill my kids.
I kill my kids.
So white privilege, racist
saw your Facebook with your communist hammer and sickle. That's pretty cool, man. Is that you on the Facebook? Is there a Facebook page of you with a hammer and sickle?
I don't think so.
I don't for children. I love Satan. How do you get your abortions paid for?
I pay for them.
I thought you said free.
Upwards of 50.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You piece of
Bunch of misogynistic mother. Take your male privilege somewhere else.
How about you being aggressive?
I'm being aggressive. Wow!
That's the guys that attacked Alex Jones.
It's brought about a big conversation in our country, these type of actions, because it's not just, these goofy kid, I don't even want to call them activists, these guys who think it's, counterculture to go out and worship the devil and kill babies, but it goes beyond that. It's not them that concern me, it's the people who work inside these facilities, these high-ranking officials who come out and say, yeah, we sell the liver, we do this, we do that. One lady even joked about how she wants to buy, was it a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, something like that. So now people are discussing this and they say, I don't want to fund Planned Parenthood. Well, I didn't want to fund Planned Parenthood to begin with. And people say, well, abortion's only a small portion of what they do at these facilities. Well, I can assure those people who may say that, I have no issue with them giving out free lollipops and pins at the front desk. My issue is that they're using my tax dollars to chop up babies. And now we have a report from Fox News, taxpayer calculator, and people are wondering how much money is Planned Parenthood actually costing the individual. And it says, here's a sample. Individuals making between $50,000 and $100,000 paid about $15 toward Planned Parenthood. However, those making more than that paid considerably more. It says if you make above, or I guess your household, $250,000 on average, you pay about $420 towards the organization. Planned Parenthood, though, is fighting back against efforts to strip federal funding. And they're saying that the controversial interview that Ms. Richards was in the other day, that the organization has broken no laws and slammed the groups that produce these videos. So this is what's happening. They try to spin it. Just like the other day, they came out and said Margaret Sanger wasn't a racist and she didn't want to kill black people, even there are quotes of her saying that she wants to kill the black weeds and she's, doing all types of other activities. So these are the type of things, the sleight of hand, they hope you're paying halfway attention just enough to get their agenda through. And once again, I'm sure there are plenty of nice people at Planned Parenthood who honestly care about women's health or whatever other issue, but I'm saying I'm not paying my money to have your babies killed, just like they say they disagree with me. If your money was going towards funding my church, I'm sure they'd have an issue with that. Well, I have an issue with my tax dollars, even if it's only $15 going to Planned Parenthood. I don't want any of my money going to these type of organizations. Now, along these same lines, I can't blame Planned Parenthood for this, but in that video we just showed you, these rabid, abortion-loving, communist devil worshippers, and oh, it's sensational, but it is true. Now it's happening all over the globe. And we see China's Christians protest evil communist campaign to tear down crosses. And it says activists say that more than 1,200 crosses have been stripped from churches in China since the government initiative began in late 2013. So this is what's happening. They're even telling churches here in the United States to take down their crosses. We don't want you to preach this or that type of message. In Houston, they want to read the sermons before the preachers can even go up on the pulpit and preach them. This is religious persecution. And just like if you want First Amendment rights, we're not even talking about religious issues here. We're talking about straight religion. If you can have your First Amendment right to do and say and marry whoever you want, the churches have the right, the First Amendment, to preach what they want to preach in their churches, and they shouldn't have the government coming after them to do so. And since we're talking about bullying of the churches, let's talk about bullying of school children. Now, you would think on its face an anti-bullying conference would be something good for the children. Say, hey, this is how you resolve conflict. Sometimes the best thing to do is walk away, so on and so forth. But they went to infinity and beyond in one of these anti-bullying conferences. It says, at anti-bullying conference, middle schoolers learn about lesbian strap-on, anal sex, fake testicles. And yes, it is quite sensational, but again, it is definitely true. And among nearly 24 speakers, only 2 addressing bullying, one attendee estimated according to eagnews.org. The rest of the sessions involved the issue of how to pleasure their gay partners. Now let's stop right there. When I had sex ed in school, it was mainly about, this is the difference between a boy and a girl, and girls have these kind of issues, and guys have those kind of issues. It wasn't anything about how to tickle pickles or all these other things that they're trying to teach the kids now today. And it goes on to say middle school girls from Humboldt, it's a population about 4,690, have the opportunity to learn how to sew fake testicles into their underwear in order to pass themselves off as boys. Once again, they didn't teach anything like this when I was in school, but oh, how the times have changed. And if you have an issue with this, then you're the one who's the problem. Just like we saw the article a couple years ago, if you're a guy and you want to walk into the girls' bathroom and the girls say, hold up, there's a dude in here standing up in the girls' bathroom, then the girls get in trouble. They say the girls are hate mongers and they try to kick them out of school and hit them with suspensions. But it's been going on for a while, and now we have a throwback article from the vault. Second graders given sex kits on a field trip.
Just when you think things couldn't get more ridiculous, a group of second graders was given a goodie bag filled with condoms and lubricant. A second grade teacher at a California charter elementary school passed out these hygiene bags to her students. They contained shampoo, soap, condoms, lubricant, and matches, among other things. Now, according to this report, the second grade teacher is friends with an outreach worker at the San Diego Youth Services. Now, the organization was the one that provided the 40 bags. They gave them to these elementary students, but the organization's CEO said that the bags were meant to help the homeless and high-risk youth. And he also said that the teacher who gave away these bags probably wasn't aware of the safer sex items contained within. So what is the issue here? Is the teacher taking these students to the homeless shelter and they're taking a tour and then they get these goodie bags at the end? No telling. Right now the school is on spring break, so the investigation will continue. But this is very similar to what we heard with the Chicago public school when they told parents that they didn't mean to include those graphic slides teaching safe anal sex to fifth graders. Those slides were apparently put in there mistakenly, although this outrageous sexual education curriculum is actually in alignment with a United Nations report that came out in 2009. They were suggesting that it was essential for young people to learn about this type of education. Now, this report recommends that children as young as 5 receive mandatory sexual education that would teach these kids about masturbation. So these are kids as young as 5 years old. Under this plan, by the time kids are 12, they'll learn all about the reasons for abortion, but they'll already have learned for the past 3 years about how safe and effective abortions are. The United Nations says that these lessons will help kids develop a more complex understanding of sexual behavior as they grow into adults. Of course, it's going to be a more complex understanding. You're teaching 10-year-olds about anal sex. Why is the United Nations so obsessed with our children's genitalia? Obviously, this is part of a larger UN agenda to discredit the family as an institution and drive children towards the state for all of their answers rather than their parents. And this was actually confirmed by former abortion clinic director Carol Everett. She said agencies like Planned Parenthood teach sexual education to young children in order to sexualize them at an early age, and this, of course, ensures a steady stream of new clientele in the abortion clinics.
I want you to think of this as a business. People don't think of it as a business, but they have to expand their market. And who is their market? It's the woman who's having an abortion. And so who is the longest-term customer for an abortion clinic? It's a woman early in her teens who is going to continue using abortion as a method of birth control throughout her childbearing years. So they go into the schools. Our goal was 3 to 5 abortions between the ages of 13 and 18. But you cannot just go to these kids when they're 12 and say, I want you to start getting pregnant. So what we did was we worked to create our market by breaking down the natural modesty, separating the children from their parents and their values, and becoming a sexpert in their lives. My commission was $25. My goal was 40,000 abortions a year so I could be a millionaire.
Wow.
The last month I was there, we did 545. My income was $13,625.
Infowars Life and InfowarsLife.com is extremely excited to announce our latest release, Winter Sun, a revolutionary type of vitamin D3. Winter Sun is a premium quality vitamin D3 nutritional supplement. It is produced by extracting oil from healthy, nutrient-dense plants known as lichens. Every batch is analyzed for purity and D3 content. It's completely free of toxins and allergens. Simply put, if you want the best at an extremely low price, this is it. Winter Sun is the result of our pursuit of the best source of vitamin D3. The research and development took over 2 years, but the result, as verified by independent laboratories, is the best vegan vitamin D3 product in the world. Read the facts at InfowarsLife.com about Winter Sun Vitamin D3. Not only does vitamin D3 promote a healthy mood, but vitamin D supports our memory and brain function, something the globalists are targeting. Visit Infowars.com today or call 888-253-3139.